Hey, welcome to another adventure in old code. It's time for another adventure, my favorite part of the day. Today we are going to look at a program called Owe.Bas. Now, O is something that I wrote in the summer of 1999, and we'll have a look at it. We'll learn a few things, and I'll tell you some of the history behind it. So let us fire this up. So it's under the good folder, under miscellaneous. Oh. Oh, and this is not right. This won't run at all. Path not found. Give me 1 second while I make some modifications here. I have to fix this file path. Good Miss Odat. Okay, I'm gonna save it so I don't lose my changes, but do I actually have... I do. All right. Okay, so let me see what's in... Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, let's run it. You owe your parents $27.50. More owing money? Yes. Oh, it must... Not yes, I must just have to... Okay, let's just say $5. You now owe $32.50. Now, the interesting thing about this is when I run it again, it remembers the last number. More owing money. 2. You now owe $34.50. Okay. This is a program that I wrote in the summer of 1999. And I know it was the summer of 1999 because I had a summer job working at a place called Tinkertown. And here in southern Manitoba, most folks have heard of Tinkertown. It's a small amusement park just outside of Winnipeg. It's focused more on, if you're 12 years old, you'd have the time of your life. Let's just say that. And it has some really fun rides. And anyway, I was 17, the summer between grade 11 and 12. And I had a job working at Tinkertown. So sometimes I operated the rides. Maybe, 1 out of every 10 days I operated rides. The other 9, I worked the hot dog stand in the sort of center food court place there, and people would come and they'd pay me $2.50 for a hot dog, $3.50 for a smoky, and I had a ice cream cart there and people could buy ice cream. And I remember we had this one Haagen-Dazs ice cream bar that was $3.25. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but in 1999, to charge $3.25 for an ice cream bar was just outrageous. And so every time someone said, "Can I have this Haagen-Dazs bar?" I always had to tell them, it's $3.25, right? And more often than not, they would go, "Oh, no, I didn't know that. Okay, I'll take the cheaper thing." Anyway, those are my memories of working at Tinkertown. Okay, so what does this have to do with this program? Tinkertown is located far away. We lived in the city, and Tinkertown was outside the city. And so I had to be driven to work every day. 4 days on, 4 days off. That's how the summer went. I didn't have a car. I didn't have a license. My parents drove me. And so every time they drove me, they charged me $5 for gas. And so I thought, well, I'll keep track of the money I owe my parents with the program. And so I did. This was after the entire year was over. So actually, I only took one semester of computer science in grade 11. So after January of that year, it was all over. All of my learning was over. Anyway, and this is the summer. So here we go. This is me keeping track of money I owe my parents. Okay, so we're going to learn how to print and read from text files today. So the text file I've decided to use is called Owe.Dat. And this just holds a number. And every time I run it, oops, 45. Now it's up to 79.50. And now the data file, yes, yeah, okay, it says 79.5. So there's really nothing to this program, but it'll help us learn how to read and write text files. So we are clearing the screen. Now we are using this open command, and I should indent these so we can see what's going on. So the way you read from a file, we have to first read from the file to know what we're starting at. And so we open and then we give it a path to a file. This is the file that we're using. Now, how are we going to open this file? There were a few different options. Let's look at them. Access. You could open it for random, binary, input, output, and append. So random was really complicated and I never used it. It's a way of saving, almost like using a file as a database, where you'd have different records, but they're all the same size, and then anyway, I never used it. It was kind of complicated. But the idea is you could read and write from any place in the file. It was randomly accessed. Binary means you're not using text, you're using machine code, and so it would be unreadable by a human. It would be what you looked like if you opened up an image file in Notepad or something like that. Input is what we used in this program. You read only from a sequential file. And what this means is you open the file, you start at the beginning, and every time you ask, you're going to read from that file, you're going to read from the next chunk available. You access it sequentially. So if the data that you want, you know that you want it, but it's at the end of the file, you have to read the entire contents of the file first before you get to it. That's what input does. Output, we're going to use this as well, but this is printing, printing text to file. And append, this was a way you could open a file and add stuff to the end of it without overwriting the file. Because output just made a brand new file. Overwrote anything that existed. Okay, so we open up this file. For input, means we're going to sequentially read from it. And then this as number 1. So this is called a file handle. And this is us saying, hey, QBasic, I'm opening this file, and I'm calling it number 1. Now, I could open up several files at once. They'd each be called something, they'd be called a different number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I can say, read from this file and print to this file by using the different file handles, these identifiers. But I don't think I ever did anything as complicated as that, and certainly not this program. We are only dealing with one file at a time. So we're declaring that we're opening this file, we're saying that we're going to read sequentially from it, and we're calling it file number 1. And you can see here that here we're closing file number 1. Because there's only ever one line of text in this program, all we have to do is open the file and then read from it. And the way we read from it is we say input, and then the file handle, and then a comma followed by a variable name. And so it is going to go to this file, grab the first bit of that file, and return it, and shove it in the variable O. Okay? And then we're going to close the file. That's it. Open it, read it, close it. Now the file has closed, and we can carry on with our program. Now we're print using "you owe your parents this much money." So the double, I'm not actually sure what the double $sign is. Does that? Why? What's the difference? You know, 80. What's the difference? I'm not sure. There was a bit of a space. So you can see with $1 sign, there's only one space between parents and the $sign. With $2 signs, there's looks like a bigger space, two spaces. Yeah, boy, I owe my parents a lot of money now. Print using, let's just see if we can quickly figure this out. Prints a leading $sign. Fills leading spaces with an asterisk. Prints a comma every third digit. All these nice kinds of things. Interesting. Prints a leading $sign. Okay, I'm not sure. Maybe it seems to suggest that if I only had a single $sign, that's not a special character, and it just printed what I gave it. Because I can do this now, and it will do all those spaces. But if I did $2 signs, whatever. I mean, I guess I can try 3. What does that do? Ah, we're going crazy now. Not really sure what's going on there. I'm not sure why we need 2. What's so special about 2? Oh, wait a second. I'll bet if I wanted to do this. See, So with $2 signs, it takes the $sign and puts it right to the left of the first digit. If I only had $1 sign here, it would have a big space between the $sign and the digit. Okay, we figured it out. Okay, anyway, we'll get back to semblance of reality here. So I was optimistic that I'd never owe them more than $100. Actually, what if I owe them 15? Ooh. Now what does it say? Okay, whatever. Anyway, we're printing it nicely. Okay, then we're inputting more owing money, and we put that into O2. Got it. Then we take O and we add it, O2, and we add it to O. And then we do this analogous printing. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up this file, not for input this time, but for output. What this does is it totally deletes the file if it existed and creates a brand new one. And now we're calling it number 1 here again. And we can do that because we've closed number 1 already. Once you close a file handle, that number is now available for you to use again. So I think QBasic had some fancy file number. Ooh. Is a symbol that is used in your program as follows. Huh, I didn't even know you could do that. Really? Oh, is a symbol that is used in your program as follows. Variable of type single precision. Cool. Okay, learned something new. There's a special command that returns the next available number that can be used as a file handle, but I never really did more than one file at any given time. So I always used one for the most part. Okay, so we're doing this, we're opening this file, but this time for output as number one. And the way we dump text to it is we use the print command, but this time it's in a different context. Print to this file, this variable. Close the file and print using you now owe this much money. There you go. This kept track of the money I owed my parents for gas, driving me to work every day. All right, not a whole lot to this, so we'll end it there. Have a nice day, and we'll see you next time for more adventures in old code.